They say scents don't lie, but no one warned me they could ruin your life. The first time I caught his scent, it was like the world split open, and every rule I thought I understood suddenly meant nothing. It was a rainy Thursday in downtown Seattle, the kind of day where the sky was the color of wet cement and the air smelled like coffee, damp asphalt, and loneliness. I had just finished my shift at the bookstore minimum wage, stacked with hours, and my boss still thought I wasn't pulling my weight. I was heading home, hood up, trying to keep the rain off my face, when it happened. That scent. It wasn't just cologne. It was layered deep, sharp cedarwood threaded with the faint sweetness of honey, and underneath, something feral, electric. My body froze, my pulse raced. My instincts screamed one thing, alpha. I looked up, and there he was, tall, dark, and terrifying in the way thunderstorms are terrifying. Beautiful, inevitable, and about to destroy everything in their path. He was leaning against a black SUV, talking to another man. I knew instantly it was him, the alpha leader, the kind of man you hear whispered about in bars where people pretend they aren't afraid. But it wasn't just his scent that wrecked me, it was what happened next. The other man turned his head, and my stomach dropped, because I knew him too. Eli Harrington, my high school nightmare, the boy who'd made my life hell for years, with his smirks and cruel jokes and the way he could make me feel small with just a look. He had changed, sharper jawline, cleaner cut, suit instead of varsity jacket, but those eyes were the same, and they locked on me like a wolf spotting prey. And here's the worst part. They both froze. Both looked at me like they'd caught the scent too. The alpha leader's gaze was calculating, intense, like he was already mapping out my future. Eli's was different, a flicker of something I couldn't name, something almost vulnerable. I did the only thing that made sense in that moment. I ran. The next few days, I told myself it was nothing, that maybe I'd imagined it. That sense couldn't mean anything in a world as big and messy as this one. But deep down, I knew better, because I kept smelling it, not everywhere, not constantly, but enough to know they were close. Watching. When I finally saw him again, the alpha leader, not Eli, it wasn't in some back alley or dark corner. It was at my work. Book recommendations? He asked, voice low, like it could slip between my ribs and find my heartbeat. I should have told him to leave. I should have pretended I didn't know who he was. Instead, I found myself saying, depends. You looking for something dangerous or something that pretends not to be? The way he smiled, like I'd just given him permission to ruin me, should have been a warning. But the real trouble started when Eli showed up. The tension between them was immediate, like two storms colliding. I didn't need anyone to explain they hated each other. You could feel it in the air, the way they stood too still, the way their words were polite but their eyes were knives. And somehow, in the middle of that, I was the one they were both looking at. Being wanted is supposed to feel good. This felt like standing on the edge of a cliff, the ground crumbling beneath my feet. What I didn't know not yet was that there was a history between the three of us, a past I'd been kept in the dark about. And once the truth came out, there would be no going back. The world didn't end with a bang. It ended with a whisper, my name, on his lips. We were standing in the empty street, the smell of rain still hanging in the air, my pulse so loud in my ears I could barely hear him. Behind us, the SUV idled quietly. Somewhere in the shadows, Eli was still there, watching. You don't get it, I said, my voice shaking. This isn't just about you and me. This is about all the chaos that follows you. The fights, the danger, the history between you and him. The Alpha Lucas stepped closer, closing the space between us like it didn't even exist. His hand found the side of my face, warm and steady, grounding me when everything else felt like it was spinning. I know, he said quietly. I know it's not fair to drag you into it, but I can't. His breath hitched, and for the first time, I saw the cracks in his armor. I can't walk away from you. Not now. Not after I've found you. My chest ached. And what about Eli? That was when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned, half expecting his usual smirk. But Eli's expression was different, softer, almost human. You think I didn't fight this too? Eli's voice was steady, but there was an exhaustion there, the kind that comes from years of holding something in. I hated him. God, I hated him. But that was before I realized we were both fighting for the same damn thing. I blinked. What do you mean? He looked between Lucas and me, and there was no malice in his gaze, now only resignation. He's not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. But if you're going to choose him, he swallowed hard, his jaw tightening. Then I'm stepping out of the way. It was the last thing I expected. Lucas's hand tightened on mine, and for a moment, I thought I felt his own relief. The streetlight caught in Eli's eyes before he turned away, hands buried in his pockets, his figure shrinking into the rain-slick night. When it was just the two of us again, I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. You should go after him, I said. I'm not letting you go, Lucas replied instantly. Not for him, not for anyone. The thing about falling is once you start, you can't stop. And standing there, with the scent of cedarwood and honey wrapping around me like a promise, I knew I'd already fallen. He pulled me into him then, slow and deliberate, his forehead resting against mine before his lips finally found mine. It wasn't urgent. It wasn't desperate. It was steady, certain, the kind of kiss that told me he'd fight for this, for me, for as long as it took. Somewhere deep inside, the part of me that had been bracing for pain finally let go. Months later, the rain came again. Only this time, I wasn't running from it. Lucas and I stood on the porch of the small apartment we now shared, watching the city lights blur in the downpour. His arm was wrapped around me, my head resting against his chest. We didn't talk about the past much anymore. Eli had left town, chasing whatever peace he could find. But sometimes, I thought about that night, about the way enemies can let go, about the way love can pull you out of the dark. Lucas kissed the top of my head. You still smell like home, he murmured. And for the first time in my life, I believed it. Because maybe I had been an unknown Omega once. But now I was his. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.